Forgive me for what I'm about to do. This is the first episode of Wild Basics, a series where we go over a deck archetype in depth and how to play it. And yes, you read the title right. We are going over the most hated, obnoxious, degenerate, infuriating, and fun to play deck in the game. The one, the only, Big Priest.
Before we can actually play Big Priest, we need to go over the most fundamental thing, a Big Priest deck. Now this is the deck I use in Legend. It's so good, I win so many games with it, I would not change anything. But there are a few cards you can swap out that I will go over. Let's begin with the most important decks in any Big Priest deck. First of all, the Resurrect effects, every single one of them. They're the only reason Big Priest exists, obviously you have to have all of them. Next is Vargoth. He's amazing. You play something like Mass Resurrection, you get your minions back. With even one of them is Vargoth. Oh, end of the turn, you get another Mass Resurrection. So good. Then Shadow Essence. It's your only mana cheat in Big Priest. It's the only way to get your minions down much earlier. It's so helpful. Then we have Penance. It's great early game removal. It heals you, it keeps you alive, it's amazing. Shadow Visions. It just gives you the spell you need. You need a Shadow Essence, get it. You need a Psychic Scream, get it. Just anything. It's a perfect pinch card. It's perfect to play on turn 2 just to get the card you need for later. Lastly, Mass Dispel. I don't understand why this card is not run in some Big Priest lists. It's so good in the mirror, it's so good against Q-Block, it's so good against Taunt Warrior, it just is a win condition all in itself. You play Mass Resurrection, oh, they counter back with some taunts, oh, Mass Dispel. Hit face, easy. So good, I win so many games off of that. I would not swap any single card I just mentioned out so far. Now these cards I'm going to go over are really good in the deck. I would not swap them out, but if you really want to, I guess you could. First, Greater Healing Potion. It's just a good card in a pinch. It just heals you a lot. If you need it, it's good. You can get it off of Shadow Visions. It's good. It's just healing. Always necessary. It can help you survive that one more turn to get your minions down. Palm Reading. It casts Emperor Thorson in your hand. It's just good mana cheat. It gives you a spell. The spell you get could be something great like another Mass Resurrection. You can play Palm Reading on 3, Vargoth on 4, and straight into a Shadow Essence for the perfect curve. Then we have Psychic Scream. This is just an amazing board clear. Psychic Scream has always been a good board clear. And if you're something, let's say you're facing a Big Priest mirror, they get their stuff down. Oh shoot, you don't want to let it die? Oh, just Psychic Scream it. It's back in their deck. They're at square one. And if something happens like they play Kazakus and they get a Mass Polymorph and they make all your minions into sheep, normally you'd be like, oh crap, I'm going to have all of this in my res pool. Nope, Psychic Scream all in their deck now. Now they're the ones who got a disadvantage from their play. Then we have Breath of the Infinite. It's just amazing early game removal. It's just a board clear. It's good. And then we have Mass Hysteria. It's another good board clear. That's all. It's pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now these cards I'm going to go over now are good cards. They're good. I would recommend putting them in a deck, but I can understand if you'd want to swap them out. First we have Holy Smite. It's like Penance, good early game removal. You just don't heal, so it's not as helpful. Sphere of Sapience. I don't have it in this deck because I don't think it's that good, but I would kinda understand you putting it in a deck. I still don't think its inclusion is that justified, as Big Priest naturally draws a ton, so you eventually just get the cards you need naturally, and if you don't draw Sphere of Sapience in like the first 5 turns, it's essentially a wasted deck slot, and Big Priest doesn't really have room to put in different cards. But if you want to run it, I get it. Sphere of Sapience can be put in like every deck normally anyway. Okay, then we have Spirit Lash. It's not really a board clear, it's more of just a heal. It's basically not a bad board clear. It's a mediocre board clear and mediocre heal. Like, it's good, it's a fine card, but it's only really, like, a great inclusion if you play it with Vargoth, because then you get great heal off of it and decent damage. Other than that, it's an alright card, like, against Paladin, if they're playing Baku Paladin, you can get rid of some of their stuff like Air Raid, where they summon 2/1/1s. So Spirit Lash is fine in that scenario, but it's mainly just used as another heal card. Quick PSA, do not ever run Activate the Obelisk in your deck. I don't know why people play that quest. It is absolutely horrible. You get no use out of it. You just waste a card in your starting hand and your deck. Never play it. You get no value even if you complete it. What, you can give a minion +3/+3? That's useless. Okay, now that we have our deck set up, let's run onto the playstyle of Big Priest and what your starting hand should look like. Against Paladin, Mage, Hunter, Druid, Demon Hunter, Rogue, and sometimes Warrior, always assume they will play an aggressive deck. Play extremely defensive. Prioritize staying alive, but if you ever get the chance to drop a Shadow Essence or a minion, go for it. If you have one of your bigger minions like Blood of Cahoon or Scrapyard Colossus die, you just win the game. They can't handle that many big minions being resummoned over and over again, so you can just snowball the game if even one of them dies. Against Warlock, Shaman, and Priest, it is a much easier matchup. They're all generally slower decks, and for Warlock especially, it is a matchup that's heavily favored for you. You just need to get a large board once with Mass Resurrect. Oh, they react with something like a N'Zoth, or they react with Blood Reaver Gul'dan. Oh, Mass Dispel it, go face, easy kill. It's just such an easy matchup to win. If every time I face a Warlock that's not discard Warlock, I just win. Like, I'm not even saying that to be overconfident. You just win. It's a really easy matchup. Okay, cards you want to keep in your starting hand no matter the situation. There's only two of them. Shadow Essence and Shadow Visions. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but Shadow Essence. You get your minion from the deck down. You get your Blood of Cahoons down. You get your Scrapyard Colossus. It's just so good. You absolutely always want to keep it in your starting hand. And if you start second, I could totally understand keeping two Shadow Essences. Now, Shadow Visions, it's also pretty self-explanatory. You just get the spell from your deck you want, unless you're unlucky, but that's fine. It's Hearthstone, it's random. Yeah, you get your Shadow Essence. That's the main use for Shadow Visions, just to get Shadow Essence. But you can always just get a board clear, so it's a great card to keep in your hand. Okay, if you face an aggro class, you need to keep these cards. Penance, Breath of the Infinite, Mass Hysteria, and Greater Healing Potion. It's just survivability. That's your main threat against aggro, just surviving until like the 8 or so turns you need. If you face a slower class, you should always keep these cards. Palm Reading, always good mana cheat. And Vargoth, it can combo well, they will always prioritize killing it because they'll be expecting something like the Shadow Essence the turn after, and they don't want to deal with that, so they'll always kill Vargoth. Vargoth gets into the res pool, he is so good in the res pool, because like I said, you can get double reses with Mass Resurrection. He's very important to keep. Okay, cards to never ever keep in your starting hand. Any Resurrects. You never want these in your starting hand. You want the minions to die first. Keeping a Resurrect is nothing. It's a dead card in your hand 90% of the time. And minions besides Vargoth. Seriously, you do not want Blood of Cahoon or Scrapyard Colossus in your starting hand. If you're waiting 9 turns to play them, you will just draw them naturally. You're drawing 9 cards. You're literally drawing more than a third of your deck. You will get one of these minions by then. You do not want to keep them in your starting hand. So, what a good starting hand would look like. Against an aggro deck, Coin, if you have the coin, Shadow Essence, Penance, Breath of the Infinite, and Greater Healing Potion. If you don't have the coin, Shadow Essence, Penance, and Breath of the Infinite. Against a control deck, if you have the coin, you would want Shadow Essence, Palm Reading, Archmage Vargoth, and Shadow Visions. If you don't have the coin, you would want Shadow Essence, Palm Reading, and Shadow Visions. This should be self-explanatory. I've gone over why each card is good so you can put 2 and 2 together. Okay, the hard part is done. Big Priest is not a complicated deck. Game tactics are really straightforward. Use your removal to kill weak minions. Heal yourself up to survive. Get your minions on board. Wait for them to die and resummon them. And then just go Mass Dispel, go phase, and kill your opponent. It really is that simple. Big Priest is a great deck for new players and a great deck to make the enemy not have fun. Now I'll showcase a normal ranked game where I'll provide some commentary and tips.
Tyrande versus Maiev.
None can escape my fury.
Okay,
Alone give
for
me
Rogue,
strength.
I'm expecting Pirate King's Bane, so I'm going to keep everything except for Mass Resurrection. This is a great starting hand. This is an incredible starting hand, actually. I have good early game removal. I have my Shadow Visions. I have a good curve. Okay, obviously it's Pirate Rogue. I don't really need to kill anything right now, so I can just wait. I still don't need to kill anything, honestly, so I can just... Okay, not what I would have wanted. I'm tempted to just take the Mass Hysteria. I think I'll be fine with that. Next turn, I'll probably just Breath of the Infinite. Turn after Vargoth, and then I can just heal up with Penance. Because double Penance with Vargoth. Okay, he's gonna get his Kingsman. Okay, now that it's gonna really be putting on pressure.
Blood and plunder. Blood and plunder.
Okay. Isn't horrible. I still want to play Vargoth.
Free of that blasted tower.
He knows he has to kill it. I can gonna also go for the RNG with the Holy Smite. Let's see. If I get RNG with the Holy Smite, that'll be incredible. Okay, I got RNG with the Holy Smite for sure, but not the good RNG. Okay, that was an interesting counter. That's good though, he's burned one of his saps. He only has one more chance now to halt my progress. Okay, so at this point, I'm probably just gonna Penance his minion. I want to just heal some. Shadow Visions? Oh, Shadow Essence, perfect. I'm set at this point. I still have time to play Vargoth next turn just to set up the double Shadow Essence and hopefully bait out his second sap. Okay, he probably has like 10 cards left? Yep. Okay, now I guess I can't play my Vargoth next turn.
You shinies.
I'm assuming he's gonna have sap, that will be a problem. Especially since it wasn't Blood of Gahun. I am in a not as good spot as I was before now. This could be a little bit of a problem. Oh, he's gonna brute force his way through. That's interesting. Okay, this is actually good now. His weapon does have insane attack, but if he's just gonna face tank the 7/7 that the Scrapyard summons, that'll be really good because now I have stuff in my res pool. So I can double res with Vargoth. His weapon can kill me with one turn, so I do really much. I could... No, Vargoth res seems like the best. As long as he summons the full Scrapyard process. Unlucky. Okay, I still have 14/14 and just taunt he has to go through. And he can't sap it out of the way. Okay, perfect. He has to go through it. I get another turn. Amazing. I'll just Eternal Servitude then next turn, heal myself up. Okay, he's gonna concede now. Oh, even better, Shadow Essence. BM, because I play Big Priest, I have to. Okay, good stuff. Easy. Beat this aggressive deck. Yeah, just huge taunts, really. Nothing you can do anymore. I give him like 5 seconds before he concedes. Really? He's rethinking his options? He's gonna actually kill all of this? Sure. Okay, I thought so. Okay, thank you all for watching. I hope this inspired you. bane of all battle players' existence. If you sub, that would be epic. But for now, seeded out.